Okay, we're recording. Well, thank you everybody for attending this special webinar on payment processing. We've got our payment processing manager, Kelsey Britton, on this evening. She is literally leading up the entire payment processing back office, from everything from dealing with your clients to dealing with our processing partners, our equipment, POS, point of sale equipment, processors, your clients, us, commissions, helping us with bonuses, everything. So she's really leading this up. This is her mission to help all of you with payment processing. So there's no one better to have doing this webinar. Because this will be a recording training for many people, I want to keep the introductions fairly short and efficient, but I just want you to know this is a gal that has been a stay-at-home mom, but while being a stay-at-home mom has been a successful business owner. And she's been successful in the home-based business space, but she's also started her own business that's not direct sales, if you will. It's not network marketing or multi-level marketing, but it's affiliate marketing. And then she started a direct sales company as well. So she's had success marketing products and services on the internet and building organizations. She's known as one of the up-and-coming trainers for our partner company, Longevity. You'll be very impressed by her. And her knowledge and also her personality. We just love Kelsey and her attitude. You can't seem to get her down, and she's just always on high energy to go make great things happen for all of you. What a great partner to have leading this up. You guys have no idea how fantastic she is, even when the times are the toughest. She just has the right attitude to get it done. And her dad was a bull rider, so maybe there's something in her DNA that's just, we're going to do whatever it takes to conquer this thing. So with that, I bring to tonight's webinar our special guest, your leader for payment processing, Kelsey Britton. Kelsey, webinar is yours.
Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you so much. You know, I think that is honestly the first time that someone has thought that I have bull riding blood in me, but I'm totally going to take that and use that in the future. I'm really excited to be here and do this webinar for you guys. I'm excited that you guys have taken some time out to join us, to watch this webinar live or to watch the replay and get some training, because payment processing is super important to the business owner. Like David had said, I've been in different areas of business my whole adult life. And, you know, I've been the business owner, I've been I've been on the agent side as well, and so I know all of the different layers and things that go into payment processing. I know what it's like to have to write that check, or you know, get that debited out of your account whenever you're the business owner and all these fees come out. I know how that is not very much fun for the business owner, and I know how important it is to get clients as an agent, and how rewarding it is and motivating. And so I'm just am very thankful and very blessed that I have been able to kind of head on this department. I'm under great leadership, obviously, with David Rutz and Wade Cordell, but I'm really passionate about this department and this service, and I just wanted to take some time tonight to train you guys and really show you what you have to offer as an agent, because it's amazing. And you know, we see business owners every single day, you know, be able to save money and, you know, get better equipment and just really make their business run more efficiently and be more successful ultimately. So let's get started. Okay, so first off, you guys, Papertech and Edge, those are kind of our partners right now with payment processing with DAC. We wanted to put this slide up here because we wanted you guys to know that we didn't just partner with somebody who's not going to take care of your client, right? We didn't just partner with a brand new processing company that, you know, we don't know what their track record looks like. We wouldn't do that to you guys as agents. So Papertech has an A+ rating with the BBB. Their evidence is in the numbers. They've served over 50,000 merchants. I'm sure that number has actually gone up exponentially since this was made. The total dollars processed, over $25 billion, have been processed through this company. So just rest assured that when you send your clients to us, you know, we have a good partner that we're working with to get them the best deal. So with DAC Payment Processing, we have two options. We have the standard processing and we have the non-cash fee processing. So first, let's talk about the standard processing. This is what a merchant or a business owner is going to be used to, I would say. I'll go out on a limb and say that they're going to be used to this. This is where they pay a percentage to the processing company on all of their fees. So let's say that, you know, they're doing $100,000 in processing, they pay $3,900 a month in fees. We offer the savings to a client, and we would take it from $3,900 a month to $3,400 a month, which we're saving them about $6,000 per year, which is a great savings, and a lot of business owners are happy with that. So we have that standard option for you to offer to the business owners that you are marketing to. But we also have our non-cash fee processing, or EDGE as we like to call it. And this is where the merchant passes the fee to non-cash customers. And if the merchant is doing $100,000 a month in processing, they actually pay near zero in fees. And this is where we offer massive savings to the client. So where their fees were $3,900 a month, we get it very close to zero. You know, maybe $5, $6, $8, just depends on what is with that particular client. But we end up saving them about $45,000 per year, which is huge. Most merchants definitely want to go with the non-cash fee because they see that savings and they know what that kind of money can do for their business, not only for savings, but you know, whether that's buying or opening another location or buying inventory or, you know, hiring more employees, whatever that may be, we do offer that as well. Okay, we also have exceptional service. This is one thing that merchants and business owners, they definitely don't take that for granted. I know some of the competitors out there, you have to be doing a certain dollar amount per month to actually get a customer service representative on the phone. And with us, we have customer service 24/7. And it's exceptional service. Not only do you have our team at DAC taking care of your merchants and your clients, but we have 24/7 customer service with PaperTech as well. We also include the door or window point of purchase signage if they need that for their EDGE processing program. Let's see. Yep. So really great service 24/7. That's also something that not only with some competitors, you have to be processing a certain amount per month to get a customer service representative, but there's also competitors out there that actually charge the merchant extra if they call after hours or if they call on the weekend, and we don't do that with DAC Payment Processing. We have multiple equipment options. This is one of the questions I get the most from agents. It's multiple equipment options. So don't think that your merchant will be limited to just a card terminal or they have to go with like a phone reader. We offer it all, and we're going to go into some detail tonight about what those look like and what those do. We have the card or desktop terminals where you just swipe the card, which is great for a lot of merchants, and they're free. So merchants or business owners, they love that as well. We also have the full-blown POS or point of sale systems, something that you would see in a restaurant or maybe a bigger retail store. We have state-of-the-art technology. We have, you know, iPad-based systems, Android-based systems, just so many systems. I'll just say systems like 1,000 times, but I just want you guys to know that we have a lot of different options whenever you guys turn in a merchant for us. So here's a close-up on some of the devices. Over on the left, that's one of the hot restaurant items. You know, you can keep track of what servers have tables, if they've clocked in, you know, how many hours they worked. You can keep track of tables, you know, if it's full, if it's empty, you can keep track of inventory. The menu items on that one can get pretty detailed, you know, no tomatoes, extra guacamole, whatever. Like it all goes, it's very detailed, very beneficial for restaurants, especially. The one in the middle is one of our iPad-based point of sale systems. It's great for restaurants. It's great for retail. It has a built-in receipt printer, all those kinds of good things. Over on the left, that's just another one, also iPad-based. Oh, I said left. Over on the right, there's another one that's also iPad based. It has the card reader as well. And then down in the bottom right, those are our countertop or desktop card terminals that are free for merchants as well. Okay, and then here are some of our what we call the pay anywhere devices, or some of our smart payment devices. So this is, something that would be like a Bluetooth reader for your phone. There's an app for your iPad. There's also some other things. We're going to get into more detail on these, but I just wanted you to look because this is really nice equipment. Most of it's free placement, which is great. Anytime I say that on the phone with a merchant, they're like, wait, can you hold up for a second? Like, you said free placement? And I'm like, yes, I did, because that's not something that's really heard of when you go to other processing companies. I wanted to highlight this one tonight because it is a mobile solution for business owners. And right now, mobile payment solutions are much needed, given the circumstance that businesses are having to adjust the way they do business, from going to, mobile ordering or to-go ordering or curbside. So this is one of our handheld devices. You can see on the left, there's a 5-inch touchscreen. It has an EMV chip card reader. It also has a magstripe reader. It has the built-in receipt printer. It has 4G and Wi-Fi connectivity. I know with this one you can also hotspot it. So if a owner was having to, walk food somewhere, or walk out of the establishment, you could hotspot it and it would work just fine. It also has front and back cameras for barcode scanning, which is super helpful as a business owner. And this one is free placement, and they just have to pay a software fee per month, which I think is less than $10. So this is a really good deal, and it's a really good piece of equipment for payment processing on the go. So here's one of our Bluetooth, actually two. We have two different Bluetooth credit card readers. The one on the left is our free 2-in-1 Bluetooth credit card reader. It has the chip reader and it has the mag stripe. And when I say mag stripe, that's where you swipe the card. And then the chip reader is where you insert the card, like it's pictured over there on the right. So that's the smaller one. That one's free. Some businesses require more than one card reader, and we are able to give them multiple ones for their account. The one on the right is the 3-in-1. So what makes that different is it has the mag stripe reader, it has the chip reader, and then it also has the contactless payment option, which is where you hold your phone up or your card up to that. So those are our Bluetooth credit card readers. Those hook up to an app that you download on your phone or your iPad device, tablet device, yeah. Okay, so one of the big questions, I know I get this all the time, is how do we go with Square, right? How do we compete with Square? And the truth is, we can compete with them all day, every day, because they're not super transparent in what they tell their merchants. So here's just a couple of points. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, because I just want you guys to know, yep, we can compete there. That's the end, right? I'm one of those bullet point people. Like, I don't need to know the details. Just tell me yes or no, and I'm good to go. But if you are one of those detailed people, I did want to put these on here. This is what's comparable with the mobile device that has the receipt printer in it. Okay, this is not comparing to the free card reader that Square would send you, or our free card reader. This is the actual device that had the 5-inch screen, the built-in receipt printer, and the barcode scanner. Okay, so this is what our device would compare to theirs. So on ours, pricing, they would go with Cost Plus or Edge. They would only pay $9.95 a month. With Square, you would pay $37 a month. If they wanted to buy it outright, because ours is free placement, if they wanted to buy it outright, ours only cost $349.95. Theirs cost $399, and I don't believe they have free placement on that. Our pros, we have one-on-one consultation calls with no volume requirements. Theirs, to speak to an actual person at Square, you must be processing more than $250,000 annually. They have a next day funding cut time of 8 p.m. Eastern. We have next day funding with as late as 9 p.m., but actually that's incorrect. We can go as late as 11:30 p.m. Eastern. We have PIN debit capability. They don't. You guys get the idea, right? We have 4G connectivity. They don't. Free merchant portal. They don't. Okay. Moving on. We can compete with Square. There, I proved it. Okay, this is one of the bigger mobile devices. And I wanted to put this on here because sometimes we have larger businesses that need a mobile device, but they really need more of a device that's going to do more than just a handheld. So we have this Smart Flex option. It's pretty snazzy if I do say so myself. It can sit on your desktop or your counter, like you can see in the bottom right. It's on like a charging station, and it has a screen towards you as the merchant, but then it also has a customer-facing touch screen, which is the top right picture. It has the 4G and Wi-Fi connectivity. It has the cameras for the barcode, has the receipt printer. It takes chip cards, contactless cards, the MagStripe reader. It has an 8-inch touchscreen, so it's a little bit bigger. And then underneath, you can see in the bottom right picture, there is a black box looking thing underneath it, and that's actually a strap. So you can put your arm through there, take it with you, go outside if you need to. I don't know where you're from, who's watching this, but we have Chick-fil-A, and I may or may not like support Chick-fil-A by myself with my family, and they always have these devices where they have the arm strap because they're outside in the drive-through like making things happen, right? So that's what it reminds me of. It's a device like that. We have free placement on this, you guys, which is so crazy because this is such an awesome device. It's free placement, so they don't have to pay for it. It's a $49.95 one-time setup fee, and then the software fee per month is only $19.95. So this is almost like a mini point of sale system. I could see this working in coffee shops. I could see this working in boutiques. The possibilities are endless for this machine, and it's at such a low price point. It's really going to help a lot of business owners. I'm kind of partial to it, if you can't tell. But okay, next one I wanted to show you guys is the virtual terminal, because again, with how things are going right now with business, everyone's having to take online payments or go more virtual. So we do have that option for merchants. It's a virtual terminal. They can go in there, they can assign customers, they can set up reoccurring payments, they can accept payments. The customer and the business owner would get emailed a receipt. All that good jazz. There's a lot that can go into that virtual terminal. They can keep track of their inventory, their employees, of course, billing and invoicing and all of that good stuff. And you guys have that to offer at your fingertips at DAC Payment Processing, which I just think is so exciting. So help businesses now. Like, what can you do tonight? You're watching this webinar, you're looking at this equipment, you're like, that's great, Kelsey, but like, what can I do right now? Well, here's the bullet points, right? Remember I mentioned that I'm a bullet point person. Here are your bullet points for this webinar. Just know this after watching this. You have mobile, curbside, and to-go options for the business owners that you know or that you're going to come into contact with. You can help them eliminate up to 95% of their fees, which as a business owner myself, I can tell you that means that business gets to stay in business longer if 95% of their fees are eliminated. You can offer them free next day funding at no additional cost. Most of our applicants that apply, they are auto approved, so it's a simple and quick process. We have 24/7 customer service, which is unheard of in the industry, and of course you guys know this, but just in case you don't, we have the $500 meet or beat guarantee, meaning if we can't meet or beat their current processing rate, we will give them $500 as long as they're doing 3,000 in volume a month. So those are your bullet points. Write those down. That's what you can do. I mean, that's what you need to know to go and talk to a business owner right now. So next day funding, I just touched on this. It's really unheard of in our industry. to provide next day funding for free. Most processors out there, all of our competitors, they will offer next day funding, but the merchant has to pay a fee, or the merchant has to, close by 5 p.m. Eastern, right? Well, that doesn't work for people on Pacific time. So with us, it just has to be, we go as late as 11:30 p.m. Eastern. And so that's great for restaurants or bars, or some of those businesses that have to stay open late. They can still get their funds the next day at no additional cost. Yeah, here's some more next day funding times. You guys really don't need to know this. Basically, when we have a client come to us, we kind of figure out what time zone they're in, the adjustments we need to make. We take care of that for you guys. So I wanted to show you the simple system. This is kind of what happens whenever you talk to a business owner and they say, yes, help me with my processing. So number one, you're going to refer them to your replicated davidallencapital.com website, which is davidallencapital.com/your ID number. They're going to go there, click on payment processing, click the request a quote button, fill out their information. We're automatically sent that information, and we reach out to your client and say, hey, thank you so much for requesting a quote. We're so excited to see what we can do for you. The next step is we need that processing statement. If you're currently accepting credit cards, can you send us a copy of that processing statement? They're going to send it to us. We're going to find out what option is best for them, because remember I said we offer standard options and we offer Edge, the cash discount. So we will present that to them. We will show them how much we can save them. We'll talk about equipment. Then they will do an application. It's a virtual application. We just send them a link. We fill out the type of processing and the equipment. They fill out the business information. That gets auto approved, and then the equipment is sent right then. And when they get the equipment, it is already plug and play. It's programmed to what their processing pricing is. If they have certain needs, I don't want to go into a lot of details, but it'll be programmed. Like if they need it to batch out or close at 9 p.m., it'll be programmed to do that automatically or not. So it really is just a plug and play. They're ready to go when they get their equipment. So a sample of what we say. So I gave you some bullet points on what you need to know just right off the top of your head whenever you're talking to a business owner. So it's really simple. It's similar to what we say with the other services in David Allen Capital. I just want to introduce myself. My name's Kelsey. I'm with David Allen Capital, and we provide alternative business capital and payment processing services. I wanted to leave you this card. We have amazing drop cards, right? In case you ever wanted to learn about getting your processing fees down near zero, or if you're ever looking for business capital, right? It really is that simple, you guys. Another thing you could say, do you have a lot of processing costs each month? Don't you hate paying credit card fees, right? Like those are some things that you can say when you're checking out at a store, or you're paying your bill at the restaurant. You can say something like, have you ever heard of cash discount processing? Odds are the person's going to say no, right? And that's your opportunity to talk to them about it and introduce yourself. You can also say we have traditional processing and this new processing, but the buzz and movement is to the new processing. And you guys can see why, because business owners save so much. And I'm actually going to show you some more detail about that in a second. So with cash discount, you can explain with gas stations how if you go inside, you're going to pay a cheaper price than what you pay at the pump. It's been that way for a very long time. And how many people actually go inside to get the cheaper price? Not very many, right? Like we all love the convenience. I know I pay at the pump, right? So that's an easy way to kind of explain the cash discount. But you really don't have to go into more detail than that. Just send them to your replicated website and let us take over. And then, you could ask them, how much are you paying each month? This is depending on how well the conversation's going, right? How much are you paying each month? Wow, we could probably save you, just err on the side of caution. Maybe $100 a month, multiply that by 12. I don't really get into the exact I just say we can get it down to 0, or we can eliminate 95% of your fees, or, you know, if we can't meet or beat your rate, we guarantee you to give you $500, right? And that's whenever that meet or beat guarantee comes in. So those are just some of the things that you can say. Keep it casual, right? But every business owner hates processing fees. And if you say that you can save them money, they're gonna want to know more of your time, right? They're gonna want to know more. They're gonna want to ask you some questions, and that's whenever you refer them to us, so we can answer those questions and help your client get through that circle system that we showed you. So here's an example of one of our Edge drop cards. Keep more or all of the money you earn. Okay, as a business owner, that gets my attention, right? Like, business owners are working hard, they are struggling, and you know, they're the first one there to turn the lights on, and they're the last one to leave, and they're the last one to get paid. And when you say, I can help you keep more of the money you earn, they are in, right? Like, they want to know. So this is just a little bit, it tells about Edge. It has some bullet points about systems. They know what a POS system is if they need it. And then you're going to give them a free quote, and it has your information. So you need these Edge drop cards. They're very powerful. Another selling point for our processing is American Express. I've been into tons of businesses where there's a sign saying we don't accept American Express. I bet you watching this, you could sit there and think for a second, yeah, I've seen that sign, right? Like maybe it was the nail salon or your favorite restaurant. You walked in and it just had a sign. I just remember seeing those signs. Here's one thing that you have at DAC Payment Processing is that you can help businesses not alienate customers who are American Express card users. Because with us, our merchant services program, it allows them to pay the same rate that they would pay for MasterCard or Visa or Discover, and they can accept American Express as well. So that's another selling point, especially if you walk into a business and they have one of those signs. We also, here's a picture of the $500 guarantee. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a great selling point. It proves that it's a win-win for the business owner to request a quote. We have an equipment buyout program, and we work with the client whenever they have a contract. So don't think that you have to memorize all of this, or, you know, print this, or like have it in your back pocket whenever you go into a restaurant. I don't know, but we talk to them about this, and we show them, you know, how much we'll pay and, you know, all that good stuff. But just know that if you go into a business and they say, well, we're in a contract, that's not a red flag for you. Okay, you can keep going. You can keep you know, having them request a quote, so then you can get them their savings, and then we'll talk about the contract. Here's another option for our Edge cards. So here we go. So here's a little bit about how Edge works some more. For merchants who are running a small to mid-sized business, nothing is more important than maintaining cash flow, right? Like I've said, you know, all night, is they want to save money. They want to save money. You know, when you're a small business and you're just starting out, you know, that $300 that you're paying in fees, you know, could have bought something else, or it could have, you know, paid yourself as the business owner. So cash flow is important, and Edge helps with that. You can increase that cash flow because more people are going to be paying with cash, honestly, because it's a cash discount program. But then you can offer them state-of-the-art technology, free equipment. We provide the signage and the stickers. It's just been a really great deal for a lot of our merchants. And it's taking over. You know, Edge is new right now. Cash discount is new right now, but I have a very strong feeling that it will be the new norm for a lot of businesses. So how does Edge pricing work? Here is just a very brief example. So what we do is we combine a flat rate and then the Edge program. So the flat rate to the merchant would be 3.84%. And then 4% would be the merchant's non-cash adjustment to the customer. So the example, a customer makes a $100 credit card purchase. They would actually pay $104 because they were charged the 4%. while the merchant is charged their flat rate of 3.84%. So it would be $104 minus $3.99. So the merchant actually made a penny in this example on that $100 purchase. Here are some receipt examples. The one on the left, you can see down there at the bottom, it says credit card total, cash total. You can see the difference. So as the customer, you would just, look at the one that you're going to be paying with, right? The one on the right, same thing, cash total, credit card total. These are both, some of our nicer POS systems, kind of the ones I was talking about where it goes super detailed as far as employees and tables and menu items. So this is the receipt for those. Okay, so this is like kind of where I live with your clients. So this is what we send them when we present their savings. So this is a traditional pricing example of XYZ company traditional or XYZ company, their traditional processing, right? So the first, I want to go to the first red arrow on the left. You can see that they're paying $659.25 with their current processor. Okay, so then next arrow, we would take their rate down to $583.91. And then the green boxes at the bottom show their savings. So this client, we could save them $75.34 a month and $904 a year. Which I would say this example is, it's really on the low end. I very rarely see that we're not saving someone at least $1,000 a year on the standard option. But this is just what it would look like. So you have the box with their current processor. It shows all their fees and rates. You have the box that is our rate, which has the PayProTech logo on there. And it just goes through those details. And I talk about the comparison with your client and go over the numbers. But this is the standard pricing. And then next, we're going to show you guys the edge pricing. Okay, so same company, same processing volume. You can see that their current processor, they're still paying $659.25 a month just in fees. And then with us, with the Edge program, it took it down to $3.66. And so the monthly savings is $655.59, and the annual is $7,867.02. So you guys can see why business owners get excited about Edge, right? And I want to draw your attention over to the bottom left. There's a bright yellow box down at the bottom, and it says cardholder responsibility based on the average transaction. And it says $3.05. So when I show this to the business owner, I explain to them, this is what your savings is, and your average fee to the customer is only going to be $3.05. And that's only if the sale is $76, right? Like sales lower than that, it would be a lower fee. And so they really start to understand and see what the opportunity is for them as a business to grow. And they're not charging their customers a very expensive fee. So one more thing that we do that's different than a lot of other processing companies is we also offer pricing for new accounts or accounts that are processing under $5,000 a month. So, and we do both. We have a standard option and we have an edge option. So our standard option is 2.99% and 20 cents per transaction. They pay a monthly fee of $29.99. They get free equipment, 2-year agreement, 24/7 customer service. There's nothing different about the new accounts or the under 5,000 accounts except for the rate, right? They get all the bells and whistles just like everybody else. Next day funding at no extra cost, 24/7 customer service, virtual terminal, free equipment, right? You can't get that anywhere else whenever you're starting a business. And then of course, edge pricing, 4% to the customer, 3.84% to the merchant, $24.99 monthly fee, 2-year agreement, free equipment. And of course, you guys have seen and you would know that the merchant pays near 0%, which is very important for new businesses or, you know, those that are on the smaller end processing under $5,000 a month. If they could save that money and, you know, not pay those fees, they are so happy.
All right, Kelsey. Hey, great job. I know you want me to cover the compensation. Before we do that, we have a couple questions. So if you could keep yourself unmuted, you did a great job. I'm excited. Every time I watch you do this, I get excited. I understand it a little deeper. Few questions we have so far, if you could follow up on. Number one, can you explain what it means when you say, hang on one second, I want to open these questions again. When you say free placement of the equipment, because you show a purchase price, but then you also show free placement. Why would anyone buy it if they can get it for free?
That's a great question. I honestly don't know why someone would buy it if you can get it for free. The only reason I can think of off of the top of my head is if they wanted to buy it and then, you know, not stick with us for a long time, or, you know, just wanted to buy it and have it like as a business expense. Or like a tax write-off. That's the only thing I can think of, because I don't know why you wouldn't just have a free placement. Now, with free placement, you don't own it. So, I mean, if you stopped processing with us, it would have to go back. But other than that, I can't really think of a reason why they would buy it outright either.
Okay, so free placement just means they get it for free. There's no cost. They have a software cost under $10 a month, but they get the hardware for free. And as long as they honor the contract, they don't have to pay anything for it. If they leave, then they have to send it back, or else they do have to pay the purchase price, correct?
Correct.
Yep, okay. Great question, Lavania. That's a pretty name, by the way. Yes, this is being recorded. Kelsey, do you know whether or not we can process in Canada any of these services?
I don't believe we can. I
Okay,
think right now it's all US.
correct. Yep, and we do have some. We're trying to get clarity on that, Ann. So as of right now, this is only US-based customers. If someone already has an existing POS system, are they able to keep it? And can we reprogram it, or do they have to go with one of our new programs?
So we are able to integrate with quite a few. So that's just something that would be in the conversation that we have with the client. What I've seen so far is that a lot of them we can integrate with, or we can just offer them the same equipment. Like if they don't own it with their current processor, we can just send them the same equipment with us. So then they're not having to relearn or train their employees or something like that. So yes, we can integrate with a lot and we offer a lot. So that kind of just goes into the conversation that I have with the business owner. So it's not all the time they have to get a new setup. It just depends on which one it is. I know that's not like a black and white
No, very
answer,
good.
but
Yeah, we can do it sometimes, but sometimes it just, we can't depending upon what they have. Okay, will DAC place free equipment for all staff in the field or just one? And I thought you said just one, and then each additional card reader has a small charge to it. Is that correct?
yes. So the free one, there's only one free card reader. Additional ones do cost. Sometimes we can get multiple card readers for free. It just depends on the volume and if they're doing Edge or not.
Okay.
But the best rule of thumb is the first one's free. If you need an extra one, it's going to cost.
Yep. And like anything, if it's a massive size account, they'll pull out the red carpet trying to do something for them if they have to. Okay. Can a seasonal craft show seller, a smaller seller, as an example, use Edge instead of Square, or is it only for bigger sales at a store?
No, absolutely you can. And I think it'd be very smart too, because you're not having to pay those fees that you would have to pay at Square.
Yep. Okay. You had said, so don't worry if they are under contract. Can you just elaborate what you mean by that? She's saying, so we can still help them even if they have a contract?
Yes. So in payment processing, almost 100% of the time, someone's going to be under a contract, and there's always a buyout and sometimes it changes on what that looks like or what is involved. Sometimes if they just return the equipment, then there isn't a buyout cost, or sometimes if they cancel before the contract is up, then there is a buyout cost. So we look at those things. Those are some of the details that go into it. But we do have a buyout program through PayProCheck where they will pay up to a certain amount of the buyout.
Beautiful. I have one more question about this. I'll answer this one, and then I'll go into compensation, and there may be some other questions on what you asked later. But someone said, my husband just signed, or he works for a company that just signed a contract for their payment processing, and they said Visa required they signed a agreement that they would not charge surcharges for taking credit cards. And that is true. So let me just explain what cash discounting is, why it's called cash discounting. You notice we had two different receipts. Each state has different requirements, but every state we are compliant with Visa. Every single state we market this in, we are compliant with Visa. And cash discounting, the way we do it and the way the equipment is sent, is compliant for their state. There was a sticker on one of the slides Kelsey showed that had the verbal language, the legal language that had to be put on menus. It had to be put by the cash register, has to, sticker as you walk in the door. So there's certain signage requirements, just like there is at the gas station. You don't know it, but there's signs all over the gas station saying if you pay cash, it's a lower price. If you pay credit, it's a higher price. But you don't see it. You don't even look for it. You just know that's the way it is. Well, there's some compliance regulations that we follow in every state. So if you're going, in some states, you cannot charge what they call a surcharge. You can't charge more because someone chose to use a credit card. That's why it's called cash discounting. You're not charging more, you're discounting for cash. So there's different ways that you have to do it. The gas stations have to do it, and we have to do it in those states. You call it a different thing. It's kind of like with our business loans. We just did a couple loans today. They were actually loans, but what do we call them? Fundings. Why? Because in some states they can't be called loans, they have to be called advances, because we're using their revenue rather than collateral. So because we're using revenue rather than collateral, we're really giving them money, expecting to get them paid back from future revenue, so it's called an advance. We gave them 100 grand, we're getting back 140. In everyone's dictionary, that's called a loan, but in certain states, it's got to be called an advance. That's why we don't call it loans. We call ourselves agents rather than brokers, because in one state, if you give yourself the name broker, you must be licensed, even though what we're marketing doesn't require a license. It's just what California says to the word broker. You can't use the word broker unless you're licensed at something. So we don't use the word broker because we don't want anyone in California to get in trouble. So we call them agents. So these are just overprotective things we do, but your husband is absolutely correct. In certain states, you can't charge a surcharge for using a credit card, but you can do cash discounting in those states. So the way the receipt would read in your area would show a cash price and a credit price, the cash discount price, right? So in the menu items will say all prices you see are the cash discounted prices, right? So it's all very well done compliance-wise. Keep in mind, this company is partnered with North American Banking Card. They do billions of dollars in transactions every month. And this is not a small David and Kelsey deciding, hey, let's try this new thing called cash discounting. It's not our baby. We loved it, so we decided to market it, right? But it's been around for a while. So have confidence. You will have, I just had a personal client ask me to explain this today to them because they had an accountant who said, you can't do that, you can't do that. Well, the accountant is just ignorant to the reality of what you can and can't do and how you can and can't do it. So just know that it is compliant, but don't be surprised if someone says it's not, because in certain states you can't add a surcharge, but you can do cash discounting. So our provider has set it up in a way to do it compliant in every state. All right, so with that, let me go into the compensation because we get asked this every day. Hey, what do I make on payment processing? So I'm gonna go through this part quickly and then we'll take some more questions. Number one, this training is to inform you on what you'll be paid if you acquire clients for the service. Okay, if you don't succeed at getting clients, you won't make any money. If you do succeed, then you'll earn the percentage we discussed. What I'm doing right now is called compliance, right? I mean, this is a litigious world, so we want to make sure we're being very clear. You're not paid a salary, you're not paid hourly, you are paid one way, getting clients, right? The good news is we share in the profit with you for life of the customer. So all statements and scenarios are for mathematic demonstration only and should never be expected, all right? We're compliant. Now let's talk money. Okay, so all accounts create residual income. Every account you acquire, there's a certain amount of monthly profit on that. That monthly profit, you get 50% of. So let's just say, for an example, there's a client here and they're doing $35,000 a month in processing. And let's say the profit to us is 200 bucks. Now they're paying more than 200, but so much of that goes to Visa, so much of that is equipment costs, so much of that is, we pay $5 a month just to allow someone to have an account, even if they don't do processing. We're paying $5 to Visa just to have an account, right? Even if they only do $10, we just lost a bunch of money because we paid $5 whether they process or not. So there's all these costs that go on, but bottom line is, let's say the profit's about 200 bucks on this $35,000 account. Well, if we made 200 as a company, you're going to get 100, okay? Now, you're also going to get qualifying volume into the DAC longevity residual plan of whatever the profit is. You'll have personal volume of 200 points. If you remember, in longevity / DAC residual plan, you need 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, or 300 personal volume as you climb the company ladder on the residual plan. Once you have 50, you're in a few levels. Once you have 100, you're in more levels. 150, you're in more. So the more personal volume you have, the more you're qualified for in the pay plan. So you're going to get you get paid two ways, or you get two benefits, I should say, for attracting a client. I'll say three. Number one, you feel good because you help the client. Number two, you get a percentage of the profit every month. And number three, you get personal qualifying points that go into the pay plan that help you qualify. Now, if anyone in your team were to do this, keep in mind, you get paid on all the profit they create too. So it's not just your personal customers, it's those in your team that you're qualified for. So let me go through that a little bit. But before we do though, with Edge, you can also get bonuses. So you all get residual on every account, but if it's an Edge client, and if they're doing over 10,000 a month, then you can earn 4 to 6.5% of the funded value. Well, what's funded value? Well, on a loan, it's the amount they get on a loan, right? Someone gets a $100,000 loan, you make 4 to 6.5% of the 100 grand. If someone does this processing, you're going to get 4 to 6.5% of their funded value. Funded value is generally about 50% of what they're doing in processing. So if a client's doing 40,000 in processing, you're going to get paid 4 to 6% of 20 grand. Okay, so that's going to be 800 to 1,300 bucks plus you get the residual. Now this here is an upfront bonus. It's paid to you two ways. One, the Friday after they activate their first 400 in processing. So once they've done 400 in processing, you get paid a portion of that bonus. And it's what it is, we give it a $3,000 funded value. So you really get $120 minimum. Once they've done 400 in processing, we send you 120 bucks. Then 2 weeks after they've used it for a full calendar month. So if they sign up, let's say March 16th, they can't even do their first full calendar month until April 31st, right? They got it in March, and all of April is their first full calendar month. And then 2 weeks after that, you're paid the true up because we need to see how much volume they do. How much processing do they actually do so that we can determine what the funded value is. So we advance you as 3,000 up front, the funded value, so you get 120 bucks minimum, but the true up happens later. Now, this is clawbackable, meaning this bonus is a kind of a acquisition bonus, but it's also a retention bonus. Our provider gives us this bonus, but they say, hey, if this client leaves this service within 18 months of us paying you this true up bonus, we're going to take it back, all of it. So we reserve the right. We don't ever want to take this back, but we reserve the right to retract it if the client leaves the service within 18 months. And between you and I, that's when we know it's nefarious. When we know someone's doing it on purpose, then we're going to take it back. But if someone's, if someone loses a customer after 13 months for company goes out of business or something, and you're not doing this to rake in bonuses and take advantage of a company, we're not going to take it back. But we reserve the right to in case someone's being slanderous toward us. So let's talk residuals again real quick upon qualification. It's not just your personal where you get 50% of profit, but keep in mind you can build a team. And as you're building team, if they get customers, what happens? They have personal volume, right? And they get bonuses. So you, though, as they're earning 50% of the profit, you're going to get 2 to 8% of the bonus volume, 2 to 8% residually of the profit. Remember, the profit is bonus volume. So if there's $200 in profit on account, you're going to make 2 to 8% of that, depending upon the level. Bonuses, if it's an edge client in your team, you're going to get a percentage of the funded value between 0.5% and 2.5%. And that's paid the same way as we do loans. Okay. So when that funded value hits the pay plan, you get paid on. So some you'll get paid next week, $3,000 in funded value, you'll get your bonus on. And then when the true up comes 10 weeks later, or whatever that is, you'll get your true up as well as the upline. All right. And residually, you're paid. This is the percentage you can earn on the residual side of all profit in your team. Okay, keep in mind, any profit that is earned is BV. If the customer here has BV of $100 and it's on your first level, you're making 8% of that, you're making $8 a month or $96 a year for that customer that your personal enrolled agent received. Or what if the person's on your 6th level? You're still making 8% there too. What if the person's on your 9th level? Well, then you're making 2%. What about your 12th? 2% through infinity once you reach certain ranks. So profit sharing is available to you. I call it profit sharing because I'm a business owner. That's my mentality. You don't build a business to lose money. You build a business to make a profit. How do you make a profit with payment processing? You build a big team who gets a few customers each, and you make 8%, or you average 5% of all the profit in your organization. You go look at longevity, publicly traded, you pull up most publicly traded companies,